Mimecast provides services such as email filtering and security awareness training. In this video, I will be demoing the Security Awareness Training dashboard, including how to schedule videos and how to use the phishing simulation tool as an admin. In this video, I will be using the most up-to-date version of Mimecast as of early 2022. So this is your main dashboard. You can open and close this left menu here by clicking on the burger icon at the top. This dashboard will show you data per year, and it will start with overall data for all employees. Starting on the left here, we have the user risk score. Our current user risk score is D. Below the user risk, you can then find details on how this score is calculated. So it's based on human error, engagement, knowledge, and sentiment. You can click on the plus buttons next to each one to find out more about what they mean. To the right of the user risk score back up here is performance statistics. Here we have the completion percentage, so the number of users who have watched the training modules. And here is the percentage of correct responses. As we're in the overall section of the data, this will be a total. So the number of modules sent totals every module sent to every employee. So for example, if you had 10 modules to 10 employees, this will be out of 100. And if those 10 employees watched 9 modules, it would be 90%. Below this, you have industry comparisons. This estimates how well we are doing with the questions compared to others in our industry who have undertaken the training. You can also see a comparison with other industries by pressing the plus button here. And finally, below this, we have our attitude tracker, which shows, based on surveys, our employees' outlook on security. You can expand this to show details on the questions and responses. If we go back up to the top of this page, along the top here you have your modules. You will see both sent and scheduled modules along here. The scheduled ones are the ones that are slightly faded, so 4 and 5, whereas 1, 2 and 3 have all been sent. If we go into one that has been sent, so first up we can re-watch the module if we want to, and then below this is the question that was sent with the module. You can see the percentage of answers chosen by employees, and the correct answer is highlighted in green. Back up to the top right, you have the performance statistics for this specific video. You can see how many employees watched the module, and you can see how many got the correct response. Below this, you then have the industry comparison for the specific video, and next to this you have some settings. Now ideally these settings you would want to do before you send the video, so we'll go into a scheduled one shortly. But just before we do that, at the very top here on the right you have this report button, and this will basically give you a PDF report for you to download. So if we head into a scheduled module, so again you can watch the video in advance, so this is only accessible by admins. And you have the question and the correct answer too. To the right of the module video, you can see a range of options. Manage schedule means you can change the date that you have scheduled the module to send on. Edit correct answer and safety tip. Now, ideally you shouldn't be editing the correct answer, but if you want to tweak the safety tip which shows up with the correct answer, you can do so. So you may want to include some company policy here. You can find the safety tip just here at the bottom of your question. Customize email. Now, if you scroll down, you can see the email that will be sent out to employees to ask them to watch the model. This can basically be edited to reflect your company tone better if you wish. Upload additional content. This allows you to upload a policy or infographic for employees to view after the module has been completed. If we click on this, you can see the order that things will appear to employees when completing the module. So first they watch the video, answer the question, they get a funny little GIF whether they've got it right or wrong, they'll see the results, view your custom content, and then get a badge for completion. And lastly, you do have a GIF section here, so you can actually edit the GIFs that are shown if people get the answer correct or incorrect. So next up we're going to click on the burger icon and go down to the performance section. First up is watch list. Watch list is a way to keep track of employees who haven't watched the modules you've sent. Now, lucky for us, all of our employees have watched all of the videos sent so far, but let's say you have 3 employees who have 2 unwatched videos. You could then click on here and you could see who they are and follow up with them if needed. Next in the menu under performance is achievements. So here you'll see a list of employees who've had all correct answers, maybe 1 wrong, 2 wrong, and so on. Again, you can click into these lists to see who they are. You can also see at the top here how many employees you have participating, but to qualify as a participating employee, they will need to have received at least 1 video. Video sent is the total amount of videos that you have sent. Now, this might not always add up to participating employees, because if you add more employees as new people join, they might not have seen previous videos. And videos not seen is how many videos are unwatched. You can also click View Details to see further data on this. Lastly, under performance is user risk. So user risk scores employees based on things like engagement, so how long it takes them to watch the video, sentiment, which is their confidence with security, and so on. It's the same risk score that's given to you as an overall company too. You can then view a list of each employee and their grade, which allows you to target specific training. So maybe they're getting all the answers right, but it's just taking them a while to actually do the videos, and so their engagement score is putting them lower. So back to our menu on the left, next up is modules. So modules is where you will pick and schedule your training videos. So there are 3 columns in the modules section. The first is campaigns, the second is the training videos available to schedule, and lastly on the right is your queue. The difference between campaigns and queue is that your campaigns go to specific groups of people, whereas your queue will send to all employees. So campaigns may be useful if you want to target specific training videos at specific departments. Now, when you want to schedule a video, you can select one from the middle column here. They are sectioned into topics, so data in motion is a topic, data privacy is a topic, DevSecOps is another topic. You can hover over these question marks next to each topic to find out more about what they all cover, and you can then scroll through to see the different videos in each topic. If you hover over a video, you will see the title and the description for that video, and you can also either add it to your queue or add it to a campaign. So I'm going to show you how to add a video to your queue. So if we press Add to Queue, you then need to pick a date. So let's schedule this one for May. So you then have Send to New Users, and this basically means that if you add anyone between now and the scheduled date, do you want it to send to those new people or not? So ideally you probably would want it to send to them. So we can press Confirm. And then as easy as that, the video is now in our queue. Now, once you've scheduled something and it is in the queue, you can always change the send date. So you can press these 3 dots, you can edit the release schedule, you can also edit the user policy, you can even send it straight away, and you can remove it from your queue. And don't forget that once you've added it to your queue, it will then be in your dashboard as a scheduled video. So next down on the left menu is the phishing simulation, but I'm going to circle back to this at the end of the video to save confusion for now, so we can just focus on the training awareness videos. So next down we have my training library, and within this you have training modules and training campaigns. Now this section is personal to each employee. It will show you any outstanding training videos you have to watch, as well as the ones that you have previously viewed. These are also available for you to re-watch. Training modules will cover the videos sent through the queue, and training campaigns will be those sent to you in a specific campaign. Next we're going to look at settings, and I'm only going to cover the key settings here. So we're going to start in the general settings section. So select default users is the list of employees that videos in your queue will go to. So ideally all of your employees. You can section them out into different groups if you'd like, with a maximum of 50 groups. Branding for emails allows you to add custom branding to your email. The policy where you set your logo or a custom header is in the main portal for Mimecast. Email recipient name is the name that your emails will be addressed to. So currently ours is the first name and surname as default, but you can change this if you want to add a different name. Reply to email address. So if you send a training video and your employee gets an email to watch the video, but they decide to directly reply to that email, this setting allows you to forward those responses to a specific email address. So you might want to put someone in charge of IT or security here. When you schedule a training video, the initial email and the reminder emails will be automatically sent to employees. So schedule email sending allows you to select an appropriate time zone to send those emails in. Select inactive user group. This is for employees who have left your company or anyone else who you want to make inactive. They won't receive training videos anymore and therefore don't impact on your company scores in a negative way. Further down over to the left, training acknowledgement questions whether employees have read and understood your policy. You can edit the acknowledgement in here. And the toggle tick box means that you can either leave the acknowledgement on all training videos or have the option to turn it on and off per video. Then below this is suspend email options. So you can suspend training notification emails if needed, or you can just stop specific emails being sent to employees. And this one leads us nicely onto the other section of settings, which is email templates. So in here you will find week 1, week 2 and week 3 email notifications and a week 4 watchlist notification. So once the initial training video email has been sent, a further 4 emails will be sent if the individual hasn't watched the video. If they watch it at any point, the emails will stop. So here you basically have the option to customize emails being sent, or you can disable them. So if you'd rather there be a 2-week gap after the initial email, then you can disable the week 1 email. So lastly, we are going to head into the phishing section. So you've got campaigns, templates and logs. Now campaigns is where you will set up your phishing emails. But before we do that, we're going to have a look at the templates available for your campaigns. So Mimecast provides you with a range of templates. You can preview an email by clicking on the View Email button under each one. At the top here, you can see that these templates are single page templates. This means you only have to click on the link to be caught out. Single templates can be copied and edited too. Next, you have multiple templates, and that means that there are multiple trick points. So the first might be clicking on a link in an email, and the second may be entering details on a web page. You can actually click the open page at the top here to then see the second trick point. Multiple templates can't be edited, and this is to ensure consistency between the email and the landing page requesting details. There are then custom templates, which allow you to create your own email templates. This could be based off ones you've received, or you can customize them to fit with your industry or staff names. So you can see that we've put employee names in these emails. And then lastly, there's community samples. So these are based on real phishing emails that have come through Mimecast, with all the nasty stuff removed, of course. So if we go back to single, and we're just going to copy one of these to show you how it works. So first up, you can change the language, which is handy if you have worldwide offices. The display title is just for Mimecast system, so let's just put a test name in there so we can identify that easily. The subject allows you to change the subject line for the email. The from email gives you a range of fake emails to select from. They will obviously start by choosing the best fit for the template theme. Keyword is the sender name that appears in the inbox. Category allows you to pick a type of campaign that you are sending. You can hover over this little question mark to find out more about each campaign type. And then tags is optional, but it allows you to add tags to your campaign. And then here you have the option to edit your email template, so you can remove or add things as you'd like to. And you can then hit create. So if we go into custom, you will then see my custom email created and ready to send. And of course you can still edit this and delete it if needed. So if we now go into campaigns, So here you can see a previous email that we have sent. So to schedule a new one, you'll want to hit the Add Campaign button. So first we'll want to give it a name, so I'm just going to keep it with the same name. Options, so if you want to, you can actually just allow Mimecast to pick a template for you, but if you prefer to pick a specific one like we've just made, you want to select non-random template. You can change the language again. You can then select your template. So you can see our SE test is down the bottom. You can select a launch date. You then have the From Email option again. So if you stick with Use Template Default, that means that it will use the sender email on the template, or you can pick a new one if you want to at this stage. Scheduling time zones, that allows you to pick an appropriate time zone to send the email. And then finally, you want to pick the group that you want to send to. So this could be your full employee list or certain departments. Again, these are all configured back in your settings sender list where you could add up to 50 groups. So this might be useful if you have multiple offices, even worldwide. You could customize each campaign for different languages and time zones, or different topics of email for different departments. And then when you're ready, you would scroll down and hit Create. Now, once you've sent a phishing email, like this one we've sent here, it will sit in your campaigns. You can click on the email name and you will get data from the email sent. So lucky for us, we don't have any data at the top here because no one clicked on it. But further down, you can see data like who opened the email, how quickly they reacted after opening it, how many times they clicked on it, what time they clicked on it, and so on. And you also have the option to export this data too. You also have the option to search, so if you do have a rather long list, you can search for names, emails, or departments. Then lastly, under the phishing section, you have the log section. Now this shows any real phishing attempts received by your organisation, and it will also make note if any employees interacted with those real phishing emails. But that is your overall look at the Mimecast Awareness Training Console and Phishing Simulation.